I was, born into a Christian family. They were very strong in their faith growing up, and like both sets of grandparents too. So for me, it's been really like a family journey. I think it was really beautiful as well, just because I saw like within those values, my parents really lived those out. And I could see that with the way that they, loved each other and with the way that they interacted with other people. It was very apparent to me at a young age. So it was super easy for me to, look at that and try to internalize that for myself. Just after the 2008 Olympics, that was kind of a big, new chapter for me. I had watched that Olympics, specifically watching Michael Phelps kind of just blow everyone out of the water, and was truly inspired just by like what was happening in that sport. And that was right around the age of 12, the start of my swimming journey. And swimming, for me, it was a huge cornerstone of my life. I loved the competition of it. I loved, just the sport generally, everything that kind of came around. And most importantly, my wife Bella, I met her through swimming, and just the whole entire sport was just such an important chapter for me. Like any competitive sport, as you get more and more invested into it, the time commitments, the demands from the sport kind of increase. As I moved on and into high school, I was training like upwards of 20 hours a week, I should say. Swim meets, usually 2 times a month every weekend. So I found that I really didn't have the time in those young adolescent years and through high school to really plug into church life. And then high school, it had its ups and downs, but all around it was pretty good. But I definitely felt like during that time I was building up this identity for myself, and so much of it was grounded in the sport. Went to university, but just like with any chapter in life, as you get older, things get a little bit more complicated. Within varsity, there was just a whole lot more. You had to now like feed yourself, look after yourself for the aftercare, and the training was intense. At that time, I was fully focused on my academic and athletic life. For the first couple of years, it was fine. I was swimming well. People were giving me the accolades that I was hoping for. My coach was proud of me. I was happy with my success. I put in a lot of work, and kind of all came. It was just crushing. I think I had put so much pressure on myself to perform and to identify with what people saw me as, that when I didn't live up to that, I just felt like I didn't know what to do. I was lost. It was such a lonely time, even though I was surrounded by my team who loved me, and my parents and everyone, and Bella. I just had this internal battle where I just felt awful. And it all kind of came to a head in my graduating year. I kind of just looked around and realized that this was it. I wasn't planning to pursue the Olympic level of swimming and be the best person that you can be at your championship meet in your senior year. All of that pressure just weighed down on me, and I ended up not swimming as high and as well as I wanted to, and it was really hard. But COVID kind of came in right at the end of my swim career, 2020, and it was almost a distraction for me from those feelings, because the whole world was just turned upside down. So I almost had an escape from that, just because everyone was going through something similar at the time of just trying to figure out what the world would look like. An opportunity opened up out here in BC, and kind of jumped at it from a career perspective, and that's what ended up having Bella and I move out here. And then we just happened to be heading to Deep Cove actually to go kayaking, and happened upon the bridge as we were driving down the road, and we're just like, let's check it out and see what that's about. So looked a little on the website and ended up coming for just a random Sunday. And I have to believe that God was just moving in that, because immediately we were just welcomed in with open arms, and it was just such a beautiful thing. I think I'd been looking for that church community out here, and I'm just so glad that we found it. We have such an incredible friend group here now. We're in a community group where we're doing life together as young adults. Working with the youth has been such a blessing for me. Through the last year that we've been at the bridge, I've grown in just such a beautiful way with my faith, I feel. I'm just so much more active in my relationship with God. And then the final thing, I think, is literally a week or two before we filmed this, Craig had a sermon about making Christ your anchor. And I think it really spoke to me in the sense that I was making my swimming and myself the anchor of my life. And when the storm came, I just got absolutely blown away. and that's not what I want anymore. So this baptism for me is really an acceptance that I'm going to try my best in my power to do what I can do, but when it's at the absolute end, I can turn to God and He's going to be there beside me. Jesus died on the cross for me to absolve my sin, and really that's the pinnacle. I mean, everything that I do in my life and going forward, I want to focus around that. I want to be active in my love for Jesus and my communication with Him, and I want to be active in my love for others.